Hello there. This is a rail simulator video of a journey from Santa Cruz, California to Pescadero, California, using the Trainz 2019 rail simulator. We are in alternate universe N42 in the year 2020, and as in most of the Western democracies here, the rail infrastructure grew at the same rate as the road infrastructure. We're following one of the chase planes used in the production, flying north up the San Lorenzo. You can see downtown Santa Cruz off to the left of the plane. We will loop back here over the Santa Cruz Mission. We're now approaching the Santa Cruz Rail Depot coming in over Chestnut Street. Our train is headed by an Amtrak F40PH, and we will be riding on a couple of Central Railroads of New Jersey's Blue Comet passenger cars from the 1930s. We can see our train below us waiting at the platform. We circle around the Dream Inn and over the Santa Cruz Wharf. You can see the boardwalk and beach flats area below. Passing through the Santa Cruz Junction is a cement train heading south from the Davenport cement plant to points beyond. On the head end is a nickel plate road 284 Berkshire steam locomotive operated by a local steam preservation society. Steam locomotives and vintage equipment are often used by railroads and preservation societies on revenue trains to help keep the skills and spirit of steam transportation alive. Our train is ready to leave now, and we get the green light from the yard tower to proceed. We go right at the junction and head north out of the yard. In Santa Cruz County, the various railroads have merged into the South Pacific Coast Railroad. Today, we will be traveling north up the coast from Santa Cruz to Pescadero on this local passenger train, taking about 50 minutes for the journey. As we climb the grade, we have Bay Street on the left and the water treatment plant on the right. At the top of the grade, we pass tennis courts and a playground.
Let's dance in the sand and turn it loose and we'll roll like the waves will flow. Over the years we'll go down to the blue bayou. Well, Mr. Smile, you got a saucy hip, saucy smile and a saucy lip, and you dance under the sky, you prance, grooving at the whole expanse with a swagger in your stance. Yeah, come on, honey, take off your shoes. Let's dance in the sand and turn it loose, and we'll roll like the waves will flow. Over the years we'll go down to the blue bayou. Ships come in, ships go out, something to watch them turn about, and they sail. The wind, it does not fail, carrying the morning mail. They hit it on the nail. Come on, honey, take off your shoes. Let's dance in the sand and turn it loose, and we'll roll like the waves will flow. Over the dunes we'll go down to the blue bayou. Down
The West Side Station is our first local stop heading north. We will be stopping at Wilder Ranch, Majors, Davenport, Waddell Creek, Año Nuevo, Pigeon Point Lighthouse, and finally Pescadero. In the early 1900s, there were two railroads with competing parallel tracks running north from Santa Cruz. The Ocean Shore Railroad, which connected Santa Cruz to San Francisco, and the Southern Pacific's coastline, which terminated at Davenport.
It's the sound of the diesels running through the night, heading for progress, dawn's first light. Trucks and trains, they're pulling over land, call that consumer supply and demand. Supply and demand. The Chessie Rio Grande and the Nickel Plate Road, Wabash Cannonball for snow and for piano. Piggyback Sunju and Nedler lines, horn in the distance wailing, got a deadline. Oh, I got a deadline. Yeah, I got a deadline. I gotta be there on time. It's supply and demand. It could be New York, Seattle, Fargo, or Abilene. Railways and highways and cargo machines. Walmart, Kmart's a Target store. All across the land, so we can have some more. We want from the city to the city. Boxcars and boxes, they're full of supplies. Got a guy way to help us survive. You gotta be there on time. It's supply and demand. Got a deadline all across the land. It's supply and demand.
We're now approaching Wilder Ranch Station. The Wilder Ranch was sold in 1969 and is now a California state park. You can tour the old buildings, see the old farming equipment and shops, and on Sundays you can watch people work the farm as they did in earlier times.
There was a dog who roamed the west, a mighty dog who was the best. He wasn't George, he wasn't Ringo. The dog, his name was Dingo. Now one day there came to town an evil man of fame renown. He cheated at cards, he cheated at bingo, until he met with Dingo, this gambling man whose name was Hart. Shot a man right through the heart. The man he shot was just a gringo, but now he's facing Dingo. From outside there there came a growl, and old Bart began to scowl. He fired his gun right through the window, but could not hit old Dingo. Dingo burst right through the door, dragged old Bart down to the floor. That scowling face began to pale. Old Bart was off to jail. Dingo, 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 Dingo. The dog, his name was Dingo. Dog who was the best. He wasn't George, he wasn't Ringo. The dog, his name was Dingo. Dingo, 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 Dingo. The dog, his name was Dingo. There was a dog who roamed the west, a mighty dog who was the best. He wasn't George, he wasn't Ringo. The dog, his name was Dingo. Now one day there came to town an evil man of fame renown. He cheated at cards, he cheated at bingo, until he met with Dingo. Gambling man whose name was Bart shot a man right through the heart. The man he shot was just a gringo, but now he's facing Dingo. From outside there came a growl, and old Bart began to scowl. He fired his gun right through the window, but could.
We're now arriving at Majors. Majors is a stop about halfway between Santa Cruz and Davenport, near where the small community on the coast road lies between Highway 1 and the railroad tracks. Glenn Majors was a settler in the 1840s, and he and other local ranchers developed the area in the 1800s. A small freight platform was located here in the early 1900s.
The dog, his name was Dingo. Dog who was the best. He wasn't George, he wasn't Ringo. The dog, his name was Dingo. Dingo, 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 Dingo. The dog, his name was Dingo.
Up ahead, the tracks get close to the coastline here, and we can pull back on the chase plane and watch the cliffs and beaches go by.
I love the sound of the train. I love the sound of the train. I love to hear that mournful siren blow, because there's something, yeah, there's something, yeah, there's something pretty hard to explain about the sound of that train. You see it rolling down the tracks, you see it rolling down the tracks. It's big and heavy and it ain't turning back, because there's something, yeah, there's something, yeah, there's something that is really such a fact. Big train rolling down the track. Tracks, you see it rolling down the tracks. It's big and heavy and it ain't turning back, because there's something, yeah, there's something, yeah, there's something that is really such a fact. Big train rolling down the track. The sound of the train, I love the sound of the train. I love to hear that mournful siren blow, because there's something, yeah, there's something, yeah, there's something pretty hard to explain about the sound of the train. Pretty hard to explain about the sound of the train. Pretty hard to explain about the sound of the train.
As we approached Davenport, the tracks were crossing on what used to be a trestle. The railroad used gondola cars to dump tons of dirt from the top of the trestle to create the fill to support the bridge. This was a common practice in early railroading. The cement plant was started by William J. Dingy in the year 1905. The town of Davenport grew to house the employees of the plant. The cement plant has provided revenue for the railroads for decades. Davenport Station and cross Highway 1 passing the extensive cement plant. The end of the cement plant yards mark the location of the end of track for the Southern Pacific's Coastline branch. We continue along the Ocean Shore Railroad right-of-way past little communities and farms. Just past the yard limit is Davenport Landing, which was settled in 1867 by Captain Davenport for his fishing business. The little town shipped out lumber, grain, and dairy products, but by the 1880s, all was in decline. Just at the edge of Davenport Landing is Swanton Road, leading up to the little hamlet of Swanton. There is also a railroad junction here with the tracks running up to Swanton, where millions of board feet of lumber was pulled out of the vast tracts of redwoods in the early 1900s. We will take the left fork north up the coast for the approach to the Molino and Scott Creek trestles. We can get a glimpse here of the coastline and the surrounding area. Big Creek Lumber, we pass the waiting southbound Pescadero to Santa Cruz passenger train. Off to the right, there are a couple of locomotives switching cars in and out at the lumber mill. As we pass Big Creek Lumber, we start our descent down the cliffs to Waddell Creek. We cross Waddell Creek and pull into the station. The beach here is a favorite windsurfing spot. Hang gliders also launch off the tops of these cliffs. A few hundred yards inland is the Rancho del Oso Nature and History Center. The cliffs ahead come right down to the shoreline, and both the highway and the railroad have to squeeze between the ocean and the eroding cliffs. Up ahead, there's a fence protecting the road from falling rocks.
We are the Californios, living by the ocean, oh, living in the valley, living by the trees, living in the mountain air, living in the desert fair, living free and easy. The moon is rising over the lemon grove, and the mission walls are shining in the afterglow. California, watching the moonrise glow. California. The still, mysterious night, silhouette the mountainside, smell of pine, floating in the firelight. Stars are shining, all is clear, feeling good to be out here, soaking up the beauty of the night. And the moon is rising over the lemon grove, and the mission walls are shining in the afterglow. California, watching the moonrise glow. California.
As we enter San Mateo County, we pause at Año Nuevo State Park, where every year up to 10,000 elephant seals return to breed and give birth amongst the scenic dunes and beaches. Año Nuevo Island, just off the coast, is a small island that's part of a marine conservation area. We can take a quick look as we pass. The railroad follows the coast here, while Highway 1 proceeds just about a mile inland, so we can enjoy the coastline near the preserve, and we'll rejoin the highway near Gazos Creek.
And the mission walls are shining in the afterglow. California, watching the moonrise glow. California, watching the moonrise glow. Watching the moonrise glow.
The bank is my friend when the river run by me and gets its direction with a little gravity. Smile to the power that comes from above. Float to the future on that feeling of love. The feeling of love. Jimmy building houses at the growing rate of trees, but his price is a mystery. Truth pays a visit to me. Am I selfish for caring about the love that you gave? Gonna hold on to this moment before it's too late. I gotta wonder how it's gonna be if I see you in the garden. Would you give to me the feeling of love? The feeling of love. Oh, you make me wonder how it's gonna be if you see me in the garden. Would you give to me the feeling of love? Oh, that feeling of love. Yeah, that feeling of love. Here it comes. Oh, yeah. Here comes the delivery, rolling down the street. It's that vibration of love moving under my feet. I don't need an introduction, it's time to celebrate. I'm gonna keep on dancing 'cause the hour's getting late. Let's dance. That feeling of love.
said the papa that boy is a fool. He's hanging around and skipping school. He don't go to work, he stays out all night, chasing after women that just ain't right. I'm on the run, on the run. Yeah, right down the highway, I'm on the run. Well, I picked up a girl at the dance tonight. Gonna have some fun, she's alright. Her boyfriend's thinking that she's home alone, and now he's after me cause he knew I took her home.
We're approaching the Gazos Creek gas station with a restaurant and brewery, where we meet up with the highway once more. In the distance, you can see the mushroom farm just on the other side of Highway 1.
Down the highway about 85, the radio's pumping that jumping jive. Up in the mirror come the flashing lights. All he's gonna see are my six tail lights. I'm on the run. Yeah, I'm on the run. Well, I'm riding down the highway. I'm on the run. Now the cop said, son, you're gonna go to jail. You don't pull over when the sirens wail. Gonna let you go in your Cadillac. Now get on home and don't you come back. I'm on the run. Yeah, I'm on the run. Well, I'm riding down the highway. I'm on the run. Well, all right. Cruising down the highway about 85, radio's pumping that jumping jive. Up in the mirror come the flashing lights, but all he's gonna see are my six tail lights. I'm on the run. Yeah, I'm on the run. Well, I'm riding down the highway. I'm on the run. Well, I'm riding down the highway. I'm on the run.
We're here at Pigeon Point Lighthouse. The lighthouse is still functioning, although there are no lighthouse keepers here these days. It operates automatically. There is a museum and hostel at the lighthouse, and you can stay overnight if you wish. The 115-foot Pigeon Point Lighthouse is one of the tallest lighthouses in America. It has been guiding mariners since 1872. The original 5-wick lard oil lamp and first-order Fresnel lens, comprised of 1,008 prisms, was first lit at sunset November 15, 1872. The lens stands 16 feet tall, 6 feet in diameter, and weighs 2,000 pounds. It is currently on display in the Fog Signal building. We share the platform here with a London, Midland and Scottish Railway, or LMS, Coronation Class 462 locomotive, which saw service in Britain in the 1940s and 50s. It's heading up a tourist train and has come down from San Francisco on a day trip. We're now heading out for our final leg to Pescadero.
Judge Roy Bean, William Hickok, an old western story, riding across the Rio Grande heading for Dodge or Tombstone territory. Honky-tonk saloons, Boot Hill whiskey and guns.
Over the ridge here at Balsa Point is an old army barracks built during World War II to help protect the coast. It was used in the 1970s by a rock band as an isolated retreat between tour dates and gigs.
As a young lad, I'd sit in front of my old TV, watching the Western movies of Jesse James and William Bonney. They were trying to stay ahead of the law, riding across the prairie, heading for the border, for the high country. I love a Western movie, how it used to be, how the West used to be. Movies made me want to be a cowboy, riding on that prairie, sleeping alongside a campfire with all the stars shining down on me, stars shining on me. Coyotes in the distance, howling at the moon. Heroes, villains, badges, and a showdown at high noon. Pony Express, the American Railroad, riding into the sun, blazing stories of cowboys and how the West was won, how it used to be. Feel just like a cowboy, how the West was won, how it used to be.
Up ahead is the Pescadero Junction. We will head east here and follow the Pescadero Road into town. The northern route passes through Half Moon Bay on the way to San Francisco. That's it for this leg of the journey. The next leg is following the Pescadero Creek past the Portola Redwood State Park and then through the tunnel under Waterman's Ridge into the San Lorenzo Valley, then south to Boulder Creek, Felton, and Santa Cruz. Thanks for watching.